Good morning, friends. I just wanted to do a really quick update on how things are going with the curriculum that we're using this year that we've decided to switch over to in our homeschool. So like I said in my last video, and I know a lot of people have been asking, so it's crazy. I'm totally out of my comfort zone again, making another video, but just wanted to update everybody. So we have continued to stick with Soaring with Spelling and are growing with grammar for the kids that are at home. Because again, like I said before, I am a real stickler for grammar and spelling. And so we are heavy on that, on language arts in our homeschool. So we are doing Growing with Grammar, we're doing Soaring with Spelling. We're a couple weeks into school. We started really slowly and started sort of phasing things in instead of just jumping in, doing everything all at once. So we're only really not even a full week into our Growing with Grammar or our Soaring with Spelling, but we are kind of plugging away at it. Growing with Grammar, I learned actually just this year, we've been using it for 8 years, but I learned this year that and it makes sense because we always finished early. Growing with Grammar is actually set up, it's not listed as day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, so you can do it however you want. We were doing it 5 days a week, but it's actually set up for the amount of lessons to only do it 4 days a week instead of 5, and then it does your full school year, or you can do 5 days a week like we did, and finish early. We usually were done it by April or May. So right now we're probably gonna do it 5 days a week, just because the Gather Round that we're doing, we're only doing 4 days a week right now. And we do have, it really doesn't take long, so we do have time to do it every day, and then we miss days here and there when we've got other things going on. But we are doing that 5 days a week as of right now. Same as Soaring with Spelling. We are doing it, it is set up for a 5-day week, but sometimes we'll double those days up because day 1 and day 5 is just tests. So there's a pre-test on Monday and then there's a final test on Friday. It really takes minutes for them to do their stuff. So sometimes we double that stuff up as well, depending on the week that we're having. We may double up and do it 3-4 days a week, or we may take a few minutes each day to do 5 days a week, depending on how busy we are. So that is still working wonderfully for us, always has, and we are loving it. I should note something that I didn't realize the first time around, apparently, that the jump from Soaring with Spelling level 2 to Soaring with Spelling level 3 is quite a big jump. The words are a lot harder. So my level 3ers are going, whoa, these are big words compared to what they were doing last year. They do also, each level adds another word or two to their test each year. So level 5 was, or level 3, I can tell you real quick, is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 words. 10 words for level 3, and I'm pretty sure it was 8 words a week for level 2. So extra words and much harder words we're finding this year, but still working for us, still loving it. Also, we have gone solely, we haven't done any Life of Fred at all this year. We have switched completely over to teaching textbooks for Math for All the Kids. They are all loving it. It's going well. We have 4 kids who are homeschooling right now, full-time. So we have a laptop at the table with a set of headphones, and then we have our main computer in our rec room. So 2 kids take turns doing it at the rec room computer, the 2 older kids, and the 2 younger ones take turns doing it with the headphones at the laptop at the table with me beside them, just in case they need my help. So again, that is also working really, really well. If you have any questions also, I should have said that at the beginning, about any of this curriculum that we're using, where to get it, how to get it, let me know and I will point you in the right direction. Teaching textbooks is quite expensive, but you can buy it secondhand, which is wonderful. That's what we do. And you can just reactivate it and reuse it and use it for all of your kids. I have 2 in the same level, and you can even do that. You can have different child accounts. I do it with the discs. You can do it online as well. We find the discs work better for us, so I can reuse and reuse and reuse, and for multiple children, and take as long as we need to do it. So we you can even have more than one account. So I have 2 kids in the same level. We use the exact same disc, and we can do the different accounts so that they can keep their grade books so that I know where they're at. So the big thing, the gather rounds that we've been doing, we are, I think, start into 3 weeks maybe. We're on lesson 10 maybe, or further. So we're halfway through. We are loving it. So again, this is just a mini unit that we've started with. We've started with the Indigenous Peoples unit. It is a mini unit, 20 lessons. We are doing it 4 days a week, so it will take us 5 weeks to do it. It's only a mini unit, so the kids only have 2 pages of work to do each day, so it's not taking us as long as it will once we get into a full unit. But boy, are we loving it. We are loving the themes. We are learning so much together. So it has been so much fun. It's taking us about, well, it depends. We can get through it probably in half an hour or less if we needed to, but we are finding we're going down rabbit trails. We're taking our time. We're discussing things. We're reading extra books. We're searching up extra information. So it's probably taking us about an hour a day to do it. You can shorten it as much as you need to, go down those rabbit trails and have it take even longer if you want. But we're finding it's working wonderfully for us. What is going well is we love the curriculum. We've got 2 in middle school, and I've got 3 in the upper elementary books. And they are loving all of the cool stuff that we're doing. There's art, there's geography, there's some language stuff, some writing. And again, this is just a mini unit. So we are loving that. We are loving being able to theme stuff. So if you are on the Gather Round Community Facebook group, there are all sorts of, or there's an app as well. There are all sorts of extra resources at your disposal, free. They list books, they list movies that go along well with each unit. And then there's extras. So I found some printables. So we have, we've been decorating that way. So I printed off, there's more than one. And I think I found it for this unit and the next unit we're doing. So I have a feeling that they might be there for every unit, but I don't know for sure. I've only printed off 2 of those things, but there was even more than that. So we've printed off here, you can see behind me, is a poem by Pauline Johnson. And I just went to the dollar store, bought really cheap clipboards, and we hang them on the wall. We clip it, and then I can change it out each unit to match whatever we're doing. So this one is a poem by Pauline Johnson that we have up there. And then this is like I can't think of what the word is, like a promise that we'll say. We try to say it every day, but we don't always do it every day, which is really cool. Again, this is a faith-based part of the curriculum. So if you don't want to do this, you can print off the other stuff. There's lots of options of different things that you can print off that as printables. But this one says, I am a new creation because of my faith in Christ. My life has value because God created me. I can do all things through whom he strengthens me. God has given me the abilities to obey his word. I ought to use those abilities to obey God and to serve others. I will do my best to guard my thoughts and words and choose to do the right thing even when it is not what I want. So we have that. I've printed those off. We read that together often. And I have it hanging on the wall. This one just goes above that other one. And we swap it out for each unit, which is so fun. You can also see up in the corner here, we've got hanging in the window, I've just hung some twine. Yesterday we did a lesson on Métis, and we did some weaving. And so we've hung that up. I've also got some dream catchers and some things up here. I don't know if you can see hanging in this window. So it's been really fun to decorate and do things that go along with our unit. We also were able to, you can't see them up there, but I had bought a kit from the dollar store years ago and had it packed away for a time that we could use it for recycling. So it's 4 garbage cans, and so there's paper and cardboard, plastic, aluminum, and compost, and then stickers, and the kids have to put the right things into the right garbage can. And it tied in wonderfully with one of the lessons in the Indigenous Peoples unit, because we talked about how nothing went to waste. They were not wasteful. They used every part of every animal that they hunted, and were respectful of the environment and respectful of the animals, and thanked them and did not waste anything. So that was really cool to be able to tie that in as well. So that is what is going well. We are loving it. What is not going as well is the way that I chose to bind them. So I bought just a really cheap comb binding unit from Machine, and their combs off of Amazon. They look great. However, the comb binding is not super it doesn't hold up so great. So we are finding that the combs are coming out of a lot of the kids' books. The kids are constantly fiddling, trying to put their books back in order. I experimented with 3 or 4 different size combs, and as you can see, the one on my teacher's unit is gigantic compared to the one in the kids' unit. This one's too big. This one is probably too small. I've got one in between as well. It's just not working. My kids like to flip their books back and forth, and they're constantly flipping and doing things, and it's all coming apart. We also found that, at least in the Indigenous unit, People's unit, there is in the back of the book a timeline that they are filling out as we're going along. So they're having to draw, this is the middle school one, they're having to draw stuff into their timeline. The younger kids in the upper elementary are having to cut and paste. So we're finding it to be a real pain when I've put them all in the comb binding. We're having to rip pages out to cut things, and we've got loose papers, and so it's kind of a mess. So not working so great for us. Also, I've got a couple lefties. So I had looked into getting the coil binding and doing it like the Growing with Grammar and Soaring with Spelling, where it's at the top of the book. So it's comfortable for your lefties and your right-handed children. However, the comb binding machine and the combs are quite pricey, and I wasn't willing to spend a couple $100s on a machine. So the comb binding is not working for us. I have gone ahead and decided to switch to 1/2-inch binders for the next unit that we're going to be doing. We're going to be starting in about 2 weeks, which is the North American Birds unit. So far, this seems to be working much better. The 1/2-inch binder is the perfect size. I didn't want to have wasted space in a binder and have great big binders with only a few papers taking up a ton of storage space. So the 1/2-inch binders are working really well for us. This way we can take things out, we can put things in. If we're doing extra papers, we can put extra papers in. And for my lefties, if they're not comfortable, they're fine writing in a binder, but if they're not comfortable doing that, I know a lot of families will even just give each kid their worksheets for the day. So the kids don't even get the binders. They just get their worksheets, they complete them, parents put them in the binder. So we are finding, I got the kind with a sleeve so we could put our title page in with our names on it. So far, I think this is going to work better for us. I haven't yet decided. I did buy a case of these on Amazon, so it was pretty cheap. I haven't yet decided if each unit I will remove and put into a larger binder that each child will have that will hold multiple units for storage later for records, or and then reuse these each unit, or whether I'll just keep them in these and keep buying them. But that is, I think, going to work better for us in the binders. We'll see if it works once we start getting on it, but I really do think it will. So our next unit will be the North American Birds, which we start in a couple weeks. We're really excited about that. Again, there was extras that were around. So again, there's that same I am, I can, I ought, I will, but it's got the birds on it, and then also another poem. And then in the teacher's manual, you also get a list of the 20, each day is a different bird. So you get a sheet, there's 10 sheets with 2 birds on each one, and these are all the birds we're gonna be learning about. So I just cut those out and put them, I bought, it was cheaper to buy a couple big Bristol boards rather than cardstock. So I just bought a couple big Bristol boards, glued those on, and we're going to hang those in the windows when we start doing it. So each one is a different bird that we're going to be learning about with all of the information about those birds, fun facts and things. So again, there's these extras that are educational that the kids can look at and see, but that can also kind of decorate your home to make it fun. And then we also have books and things that go along with, I've got a stack of books here that are all on Indigenous people, First Peoples, residential schools, books on all of those things for the kids to read that are out. It's like a classroom in a regular school. So we read those books and we talk about those books. And I was quite surprised. I already had all of these books. So things that I didn't notice, all the books we have that are on birds, all the books that we have that are on Indigenous peoples, all the books that we have that are on oceans that we already had and we're not reading. So we're pulling them out and using them, which is really, really fun. There is, again, though, there is a list of resources that tell you what books go great, what movies go great, what shows go great alongside each unit. So I think that's mostly everything. Just wanted to pop on and say, let you guys know how much we are really loving this. We are loving coming together. We're loving doing it all together as a group. We are learning so much. It's not taking up a crazy amount of time. Although I do think we are doing more hours, more minutes, more hours a day doing school than we have done in the past, but it doesn't feel like it. We have one who has gone off to public school this year. But she's one of my middle schoolers, and she wanted to do this unit with us. So we've been doing it in the evenings. Last night, sometimes we do it as soon as she gets home before dinner. Sometimes we do it after. Last night we did it after. And because we did the weaving, it probably took us even a little bit longer, maybe a little over an hour, but it didn't feel like it. Nobody was running off to watch TV. Nobody was running off to play in their room. We were at the table and it felt like we were having fun family game time together as we're weaving. It was so much fun. So we are loving how it's bringing us together, and we're able to do school as a family as opposed to going to our separate corners and just trying to get through our workbooks. So we really are loving it. It is working for us. As of right now, I am buying it unit by unit and printing ahead of time. So right now we are in the middle of doing the Indigenous Peoples unit. I've already purchased the North American Birds unit, and I'm slowly printing this off as we're working through the unit before. So I am buying it unit by unit. You don't save any money by buying the full year worth of units unless you get it when it's on sale. So you certainly can do unit by unit and it not look as crazy in your bank account when you're purchasing the units. Also for printing, I should say it is a lot of printing, and it can get expensive because it's full color. I am using 32-pound paper so that it is a little bit thicker, nicer paper for them to work on. And I bought a new printer. So I bought a HP Envy because it was cheaper to buy the new printer than it was to buy ink for the heavy-duty printer that we already have. So I bought the new HP Envy printer for myself, and I use it only for printing my Gather Round stuff. We use our other printer for all of the other things, but for the Gather Round, that's the one I use. And then I signed up for their instant ink program. So I pay $10 a month, and it lets me print 300 pages a month. So I just have to plan ahead and print ahead of time and kind of be conscious of how much I'm printing each month. And it is enough, as of right now, it's enough to get all of my stuff printed out in time for the units without it costing me more than that. You can change your subscription at any time, so I can change it from $10 a month to the, only printing a couple pages a month when I need to, or I can up it. I think there is one higher that's like 700 pages a month. And if you go over, you can go over. You never run out of ink. It is a great program. So look into that if you are going to be printing a lot. I think that it probably is the most economical way to do all the printing if you're doing Gather Round. So if you got any questions more about Gather Round or any of the other stuff, let me know. We are loving it. So if any of you guys are doing it, let us know. We would love to do the same unit at the same time as you guys so that we can come together, maybe do some trips and cool things together and talk about what all we're learning. So it's been super fun. Good luck. Stay safe. Stay healthy.